As it completes 2 months in office, how does the PDP view its alliance with the BJP in Jammu and Kashmir? And more importantly, how does it view the many problems it's had to face? Those are the two key issues I shall discuss today with the President of the People's Democratic Party, Mehbooba Mufti. Mehbooba ji, on the 1st of May, your father would have completed 2 months as Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir at the head of a BJP-PDP government. In your eyes, has this alliance been to your satisfaction? Or do you think you've had problems, sometimes even serious difficulties?
Well, basically, the alliance of these two parties with totally divergent views, coming together, we did expect, it's not going to be a very smooth sailing. And moreover, people have very high expectations because they feel that PDP is a party, who will be able to address the aspirations, and BJP at center, being at the center, is going to do lots of things as far as development is concerned. We have had initial hiccups, and to be very honest with you, we have had many problems in the very beginning, whether, it was some, political decisions. Then again, we had this September flood. And so much work is to be done, but unfortunately till now, because we did expect once these two parties come together, we will have certain problems, and now we are trying to take off.
I want to come to some of the problems you've had in a minute's time, but would you accept that because you are in a sense polar opposite parties, because you represent very different constituencies, both of you constantly feel a need to reassure your traditional supporters that you have not gone back on your principles and commitments, as a result of which the sort of problems we've seen over the last 8 weeks are not just inevitable, but they will periodically keep happening?
Well, I would not confine this, this mindset just to PDP or BJP. This is the mindset of Kashmir versus the rest of the country.
That's another reason why there are problems.
That is it. That's why I think it's a good thing that both the viewpoints are coming out in the open, and once something comes into the open, then everybody has to, join together and address it.
So you're saying a very interesting thing. There is first a clashing of viewpoints between PDP and BJP, even though you're in an alliance, and then beyond that, there's the clash of viewpoints between Kashmir and the rest of India.
This is where the change of mindset has to start, both in Jammu and Kashmir as well as in the rest of the country. Because once you see the problem is there, what's the problem?
And so many of the problems we've seen, whether it's about Masarat Alam, whether it's the killings, whether it's comments made by either your father or by BJP MPs, are a result of these clashing, differing viewpoints.
Yeah, it's like, Kashmir versus the rest of the country. So that's where I feel that, by joining, because we had a choice to go with Congress, we had a choice to go with National Conference. But when we chose BJP, it was that there was a leadership, there was a person who said he wants to, follow Vajpayee's line on Kashmir. And then again, by joining hands with this government, we'll be able to do much more development in Jammu and Kashmir, which is need of the hour.
In that context, what is the trust level between the PDP and BJP today? Has it gone up from the 1st of March when you formed a government, or as a result of these problems and difficulties, has it diminished?
See, if we have, we are still together, and we have had such a turbulent, start, if you recall it. And I think, it's very important that people in BJP and rest of the country are also trying to understand, because while you are in opposition, you start, the way what Congress is doing today. They are trying to, pick holes in each and everything. Now BJP understands what the Kashmir problem is. Because whether you talk about...
Do you feel that the BJP's understanding of the Kashmir problem has improved?
I think it has started, it's not so. Kashmir is a very complicated, issue.
But the improvement is there in their understanding?
I do understand that. There are some people, in every party you have hawks. They are there, but there are people, who are trying to understand that they look at it as a great opportunity.
What about the opposite? If the BJP's understanding of the Kashmir problem has improved, has the PDP's understanding of the BJP's viewpoint and of perhaps mainstream opinion in India, has that also improved?
See, my father is a great believer in democracy. So he feels that, Indian democracy has that kind of, space in it where you can, it's a battle of ideas. So,
but are you today more appreciative of the BJP and mainstream Indian opinion?
See, when I said that the opinion is not confined to BJP. What happened to Congress when they picked up Afzal Guru from 28th and hanged him?
But let's not get lost in the past. All I'm asking is this. You said a very honest thing.
Yeah.
BJP's understanding of Kashmir has improved, And that's a good thing. And I'm simply asking the opposite. Has the PDP's understanding of A, the BJP, and B, mainstream Indian opinion also improved?
See, I don't think we need to learn. We already know, because that's why we are a part of mainstream party. That's why we are a part of Indian democratic system. So that's why we fight elections.
So BJP needed to learn, but PDP already knew.
Not only BJP, I think all the parties in our country
need to understand Kashmir.
Need to understand what the Kashmir problem is, because, Kashmiris have given a huge mandate this time. They have voted in huge numbers, but what are they getting?
So then come back to my original question. Has the trust level between BJP and PDP improved since March 1 when you formed a government, or has it diminished because of the problems? And in fact, you were very honest. You said you had a turbulent start.
Very turbulent start.
So has the trust level diminished?
I would say that once they have started understanding things, and I think for the first time, they are really getting, to know what Vajpayee ji understood about Kashmir. And I'm happy about that.
So this is a learning experience for Mr. Modi as well?
I think it should be a learning experience for everybody. I mean, whether it's all the political parties, they should put aside their differences when it comes to Jammu and Kashmir.
One more question before I come to specifics of the problems you faced. You were very open and honest when you said we had a very turbulent start. How difficult was it? Were there moments when you said this is going to collapse?
We have an agenda of alliance where we have sorted out all the nitty-gritties. Whatever we are talking about is not something that we are saying today.
That I understand.
Yeah, it is
but did the turbulence start worry you and say, oh my God, this may not last for 5 years?
No, the problem is that, Karan, my father is not a person, who pursues power. He took this opportunity, looking at it, it's an opportunity. He wants to do something.
So he wasn't put off by the turbulence?
No, he was not at all. Because if you can't do anything, I mean, being the chief minister was the easiest thing if you could have gone with Congress.
So his attitude was, I'll give it my best shot.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't succeed, it doesn't succeed.
Yeah, that's right, because
he wasn't determined to continue in power at all costs.
No, not at all. He will never do that.
He was ready to walk out if he had to.
I mean, the thing is that we have assured people that we will not compromise on their honor and dignity. And that's why it took us 2 months to charter a program.
Let's then come, in the context of all that you said, and in the open, honest admission you made that you had a very turbulent start, to some of the specific problems you've had to handle in the last 8 weeks. Now, recently, you've rearrested Masarat Alam, and you've rearrested him under the Public Safety Act. Now, I recall Mehbooba Mufti as an opposition leader frequently criticizing the PSA. You called it a draconian act. Doesn't it feel odd that you should now arrest a man under that act?
Well, if you recall, we were the ones who have released the most senior leader of Hurriyat, that is Ali Shah Gilani, in 2003, and he has been out since then. Masarat Alam is a very small, person when you compare it to Mr. Gilani. We believe in, having a battle of ideas. But once a person, he can use the political space to talk about his, political aspirations, whatever they are. But once a person starts, kind of attacking the law and order situation, making, situation bad for the people in general.
He crossed a red line.
Yeah. Then, then the law takes its own course.
Except for the fact that when the law took its own course, you used the draconian PSA, you didn't use the normal criminal justice system. And that's what I'm questioning. Because I remember in March 2011, when Omar Abdullah was using the PSA, this is what you said. You said PSA is a black spot on the country's democratic system. You said the PSA has converted the valley into a huge prison. And yet today, Mehbooba Mufti's government is using the same PSA. Why?
Well, Karan, when a person, we took so much, criticism while obeying the Supreme Court order and released him. He was okay for 1.5 months. Even if, he had gone to welcome Gilani Saab.
But why not arrest him under the normal criminal justice system? Why under PSA?
Because, a person in the open, if he starts, kind of praising people like, Hafiz Saeed. Not only Pakistan is okay, but what about Hafiz Saeed? If he says, okay, I like Pakistan, that's fine.
So he invited the PSA?
Yeah, he did. I mean,
he left you no choice.
You are inciting people. So, I mean, I have no problem if these people go out and preach their political ideology, whatever it is.
But Hafiz Saeed was too much.
But if you start, you go give a hartal call, that's okay. But if you use or incite violence to enforce your ideology, that will not be tolerated.
So in other words, the manner, the behavior and the things that Musarat Alam said, including Hafiz Said, was so terrible that you had to use the PSA. The normal system wouldn't have worked.
Because we gave him, you know, I mean, you know how much, you know, criticism we took in releasing him. He got a very good chance, whatever, if he has full faith in his political ideology, he can preach it in a very peaceful manner.
So in other words, he forced you to do this.
I think, you know, his behavior at that point of time was something that not only, you know, forced the government, the law enforcing agencies, but also the people were scared. Okay. People were worried because, you know, the tourism season has set in. And see
so there was an economic reason as well. He was endangering the economy of Kashmir.
Everything by creating a situation wherein, you know, people were really, you know, scared after this flood. People had started painting their shops and, you know.
And he was endangering economic revival.
He was creating an environment. They can go, Gilani Sahib can go and say, because after some time we allowed all the Hurriyat leaders, I
understand. Let's move beyond Musarat Alam. I understand why you acted the way you did. You did it because he crossed a line. You did it because he was trying to appeal to Hafiz Said, which is unacceptable. You did it because he was endangering Kashmir's economic recovery. A second problem you faced is the death of Khalid Muzaffar Wani. At the time you called him an innocent boy. The army said he was an overground militant. The army said he was taking 3 others to be recruited. On what basis did you come to the conclusion he was innocent?
Well, Karan, I heard the video of those 3 boys. It's with the police. All the 3 boys were saying that Khalid took us on a picnic. We had taken biryani. And then, you know, Khalid went and he was talking to his brother Burhan, who was a militant. So
the 3 boys admit he was talking to Burhan. They admit he was talking to Burhan.
Yeah, I can show you. Yeah, they said he was talking to Burhan, but they were not carrying any. They had gone on a picnic. So I would like to give Khalid the benefit of doubt. Maybe his mother had sent the other son to persuade him to come back.
This is very interesting. You added 3 very critical words. I would like to give Khalid the benefit of doubt. In other words, you're being an elder sister and you're saying, let him have the benefit of doubt.
Yeah, because nobody knows.
Let me put the opposite to you.
Nobody knows.
Those 3 boys with him admit that he had taken biryani. They admit
going for a picnic.
No, more importantly, they admit he was meeting his brother Burhan, who is an admitted, acknowledged militant. The army looks upon Burhan as a terrorist, right?
Yeah.
Now, I put it to you, at the very least, if Khalid is meeting a terrorist, this is stupid, silly behavior.
He's his brother.
Worse still,
you have to differentiate between a militant and his relative.
But just because a terrorist is your brother doesn't mean you should go and meet him. You're endangering your own self. And you're suggesting to the army that you're suspicious.
Many a times it is the police, it is the army, you know, who ask the relatives to persuade the people who have taken to gun to, you know, persuade them to come back.
Except that wasn't the case here.
We don't know. We don't know because...
You mean it's possible that the army had asked Khalid to meet Burhan to bring him back?
We don't know. Maybe the family...
But why do you think it could be the case?
No, I mean, maybe the family wanted him to come back.
Maybe. But nonetheless, and perhaps that's possible, but for Khalid to meet an acknowledged terrorist, even if he's his brother,
but even then you don't,
is a stupid and silly thing to do. It creates suspicion. Worse still, it makes people think he's complicit.
It may be a stupid thing.
You agree to that?
It may be a stupid thing, but there is no law in our country that you can kill a brother of a militant just because he met his brother.
Except that you shouldn't be meeting terrorists.
Maybe there is a law.
And when you meet terrorists, you suggest that you're perhaps complicit.
But then maybe there is a law for that, but not to kill the guy.
In other words, he deserved punishment, but not killing.
He was an English literature graduate.
You're making a very important point. He deserved punishment, that you accept.
If there is a law,
but not killing.
No, if there is a law that, you know, if you meet your brother who is a militant, and if it is proved that you were meeting him in regard to something, you know, abetting his violent activities, maybe then the law should be enforced. But who is going to tell us what was the truth?
At the time, your father suggested, he didn't say it in so many words, but he clearly suggested that the army should apologize as they did for Badgam. No apology has come. Is your father upset? Does he feel snubbed? Or has he accepted it?
No, he said that, you know, the army should have been more careful. Because
he then raised what happened in Badgam, and he said in Badgam they apologized, and people made the connection and said Mufti Sahab would like an apology.
See, in Badgam, you know, I'm so happy that both the Prime Minister as well the Defence Minister at that point of time, Arun Jaitley, he intervened, because there in Badgam,
but that didn't happen there.
No, even in Badgam case, the first remarks from the army where they were militants or something like that.
I grant to you that the army apologized for Badgam, and many people were surprised because the army hasn't done this very often before.
Yeah, that's right.
But I'm talking now about the Khalidwani case. Your father clearly suggested he wanted an apology. The apology never came. Is he upset? Does he feel snubbed? Or has he accepted it?
No, basically there are two versions. One version is that there was, there was an attack from the militants, and then there was...
But Mehbooba ji, I'm not talking about the two versions. I'm asking, is your father upset that there was no apology, or has he accepted it?
No,
after all, he is the chief minister. When the chief minister asks for an apology, usually people apologize. In this case, they didn't.
No, because the army is giving another version. They in Badgam, Chhattargam, they changed the version.
So Mufti Sahab has accepted this.
Here they are sticking to their own point. They are sticking to their own point that there was an attack.
Okay. So Mufti Sahab has accepted the situation. He's not upset he didn't get an apology.
Well, I think, it's not about being Mufti Sahab, because if the army has done something which they feel they should have done, by, giving an apology, it raises their stature. It's not
in other words,
it's not about a prestige.
You still feel the army should have apologized?
They should have, they should have, because when a young guy who's a literature graduate gets killed in such a manner, I think, because if we are one, if we think that it's not only about the land, the Jammu Kashmir people are there.
It's people.
It's the people who belong to us.
Let's then come to a third issue that has created a problem, even though it was meant to be a solution. Your father's announcement that composite townships will be created for returning Kashmiri Pandits. Even though your father and Naeem Akhtar have repeatedly said these are not separate exclusive zones, the Hurriyat on the one hand, Congress and the National Conference the other refuse to believe it. They insist these are separate exclusive zones, and you know and I know that there are many in the valley who are beginning to become a little suspicious. Are these separate zones? Are these exclusive? Why is it that on a critical issue like this, A, the Chief Minister, and B, the PDP can't establish their credibility? Why is it that your credibility is being questioned?
No, because both the separatists as well as National Conference and Congress, they are looking for some issues to exploit. They don't have anything.
But it's your conviction that people are questioning, isn't it? You're not carrying conviction with people on this issue. Why is that?
No, of course, people believe us. But it is, because as I said earlier also, BJP and PDP coming together has sent a message that, if we are able to follow our agenda of alliance, Jammu Kashmir after 6 years will be totally a different...
So tell me this, ignore the opposition from Hurriyat, from Congress, from the National Conference. Are you worried that the people of the valley, that's your constituency, that they accept that these composite townships are not going to be separate exclusive zones? Because there are many in the valley who are scared that behind the name of composite township, you're creating a separate exclusive zone. So answer that for me.
So once you do everything on the ground, it's for everybody to see.
The proof will be in the pudding, in his eating.
Exactly, because my father, he believes, he is a great believer that, Kashmir is incomplete with these Kashmiri Pandits, and he wants, because during his tenure, we did Tulumula, we built, this mutton.
You're committed to bringing the Pandits back?
Kashmiri with honor and dignity.
How much of a priority is this for your father?
This is one of the most important things, because
one of the most
because there are many things, but this is one of the most important things, because we feel that when we say Kashmir is normal, it will be only normal when Kashmiri Pandits can return back to their homes.
Many people point out, and this is a point I think your father wouldn't disagree with, because actually he made the same point in the assembly, that composite townships has been tried before and it didn't work. As your father said, only 15% of the Pandits came back with that. Why do you think this time around something that didn't work earlier will be successful?
Because we are very serious about it. In fact, during our tenure, till then Tulumula will be visited by a few hundred people, but it started going up.
You mean your effort will be a better effort than the earlier effort?
Very serious one. It's not about talking on TV, in TV studios, saying we are going to take Kashmiri Pandits.
You're determined to make this succeed.
Because we believe in our heart of hearts that Kashmiri Pandits' return is going to be a real test for normalcy.
One other question about composite townships. I accept that these are not separate exclusive zones. But the truth is, they are different areas to where the Pandits used to live. Why are you not giving them the protection and security they need to go back to where they lived, so you recreate the old mosaic rather than create new areas and thus create a new patchwork?
We'll be exploring many options. if Kashmiri Pandits will feel secure by going back to their own villages where their Muslim brethren are already living.
So that option is open still?
Every option is open because we will be discussing it with the Kashmiri Pandit community.
So in addition to composite townships, you could also give them security to go back to their old villages and rebuild their old homes.
Already, many of, people at the top notch, many doctors I would not like to name, they have already built their homes in Kashmir Valley. They are
So both options are open.
Yeah.
A new township as well as
a township where Muslims, Kashmiri Pandits, Sikhs, and maybe even Buddhists from Ladakh would like to stay. So there are
two options, a composite township, or go back to your old villages, rebuild your own homes, and live as you used to live.
Exactly, whatever makes them feel more secure and comfortable.
Let me then come at this point to one other issue. It's an issue that's very important to the Valley in particular. It's one of the critical promises made in your Alliance for Agenda, and it concerns the Armed Forces Special Powers Act. In that agenda, you said, the coalition government will examine the need for denotifying disturbed areas. You've been in power 2 months. Has that examination begun?
Oh, we have already I said we have not even taken off the way we would like to be. So give us some time.
So the examination hasn't begun?
No, it will take us, it has been just hardly 2 months.
Except that this is such an important thing.
It is the most important thing.
There you are. You say so yourself.
It's one of the more, why? Because I say Armed Forces Special Powers Act was brought into when you had number of militants going into thousands. Now there are hardly maybe 100 or 2.
My point entirely. So not only is the Armed Forces Special Powers Act not needed because the number of militants have come down, but as you said, it's the most important thing.
Yes, because
in which case, 2 months later, why has this examination not begun?
It will start. I mean, you don't.
When will it start?
My father is a man of actions.
When will it start?
And when he says something, he does it at any cost.
When will it start?
Sooner.
Well, but what does sooner mean?
See, we have said, as far as Armed Forces Special Power Act, it's not going to happen in one go.
That I understand. But when does the examination start? Just the examination. When does that start? Give me a date.
I can't give you the date. I'm not in the government. I can't give you the date. But you need
Will it start this year?
Of course, as the situation, improves. And
as the situation improves, is the let-out clause?
No. My thing is that, let's let tourism start taking off. Let's start a development process because we would...
So after summer, not before?
I can't say that. That's for the government to say. But let me tell you, if we sit on this chair, during these 6 years, either the chair goes,
Mehbooba ji, can I ask you 2 questions? You're clearly saying...
Armed Forces Special Power Act has to be revoked in a phased manner.
But that will possibly not even happen in 2015.
No. It may happen any time. But the thing is...
But it can't happen any time if the examination won't start till after tourism happens.
No, it's not.
And then the examination will take 2-3 months.
Karan, I'm saying we have to take everything along.
So is the BJP an obstacle and hurdle on this?
No,
Are you having problem with your ally?
See, something which has been put on the paper in black and white, something which has already been agreed by all the parties, by National Conference, Congress,
but that's
CPIM.
Only intent. Action comes when the examination begins.
No. My point is that everybody has agreed that Armed Forces Special Powers Act has to go.
In which case, why is the examination not happening?
But the only thing is, how do you phase it out?
But you can only begin the phasing out if you take the first step. Here, the first step hasn't been taken, and that's why I asked, when will the first step be taken?
I mean, it has been two months. I mean, you don't, expect something which has not happened during last 20 years is going to happen in 2 months.
That's a fair point. Yeah. I accept it readily. It's a good argument, but I'll tell you why people are suspicious. Because the second half of the Agenda for Alliance says, and again I'm quoting, final word on the continuation of AFSPA is with the central government. And to many people that suggests that no matter what recommendation you give, Mr. Modi has the right to veto. And they say, in that case, aap examination karengi, you'll start the process, maybe a year or 2 later you'll recommend remove it from 2-3 areas, Mr. Modi will say no, and it'll all end, and nothing would have been achieved.
Mr. Karan, the country has to decide, 70, almost 70 years down the line, are you still so insecure about Kashmir that you feel only army with ESPA can have Kashmir with us.
I accept your argument completely. In fact, the problem is, I'm not against you. I'm questioning why you aren't moving faster. Why the examination itself hasn't begun.
It has been just 2 months. It has been just 2 months.
You couldn't have done it in 2 months?
No, how can you do it within 2 months?
You sure the BJP is not holding you back? This is something you can't
nobody
say.
can hold us back.
You have a lovely smile on your face, which is such a good smile, but behind the smile, are you covering up for an obstinate, rigid BJP?
See, Karan, my father went in alliance with BJP because they are at center. Otherwise, we could have gone with Congress and said, oh, we can't do anything about ESPA because BJP is at the center.
Let me then...
So we went with them in a very conscious effort, and we have put everything in black and white. And you will see, inshallah, within these 6 years, you will feel all the agenda of alliance will be implemented 100%.
Including AFSPA being lifted?
Yes.
At the end of 6 years, will AFSPA be lifted from the whole of Kashmir or only from certain pockets and areas?
Inshallah, the situation is going to be so good. Everybody is going to be, saying that we can win the hearts of minds of
Which means there'll be no AFSPA in any part of Kashmir at the end of 6 years.
Inshallah.
Inshallah means yes?
Inshallah means Allah Ta'ala chahe, inshallah zarur hoga.
But the problem with Allah Ta'ala determining is that at the end of the day you're saying, if I fail, it's God's will. If I succeed, it's my credit.
We'll not fail. Because
you'll succeed.
Inshallah, because we have a very proper agenda, political as well as development. When we combine the two, no power on this earth can stop us from implementing our agenda.
My last issue, and so much of this depends upon the nature of the relationship between your father and Mr. Modi, that's what I'm going to ask you. Do the two men, the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir and the Prime Minister of India, get on and understand each other? Is there trust between them? Because if there isn't, your alliance will never succeed. But if there is, you can overcome all obstacles. So is there trust? Do they get on?
I think both are self-made men. They have not inherited this crown, like many other leaders. They have come up a very hard way. So I think there is a better understanding between the two. And as I said earlier also, Kashmir...
Better than there was on 1st March when your father took over. Has that understanding improved? I know you've had a turbulent start, but sometimes a turbulent start can bond people together. Has it bonded them together?
Well, I think that's something you will have to ask him, but I think he met him again and he was quite happy about the meeting.
He was happy about the meeting?
He was happy about the meeting.
Does he feel comfortable working with Mr. Modi?
Well, I think, as I said earlier also, my father is a very straightforward person. And what we have seen till now of Mr. Modi, he also seems to be a very straightforward person.
So two straightforward people can work well together.
Yeah, because
my last issue. Yours is an alliance in Jammu and Kashmir. You've been through turbulence, as you admitted, but in a sense, it's brought the partners together. It's made you determined to succeed. Will that alliance also lead to your supporting Mr. Modi in Delhi? And in particular, in an area where he is in trouble and he needs support, land acquisition amendments. Will you support those in the Rajya Sabha, in the Lok Sabha? Well,
Karan, first of all, let me tell you this. We, in J&K state, we have our own laws, so this does not apply.
But your vote counts in Delhi?
But I mean, if you ask me honestly, I feel, a lot of wrong perception has been created vis-a-vis this, land bill. Because when
you're
you say...
trying to find a good way of saying, yes, you will support Modi on land acquisition.
See, if we feel that it is for the benefit of the people, because farmer's son wants a job today. We want good hospitals, we want good roads. And
none of that is possible without the land acquisition amendment.
None of that is possible. And private people, private industry...
Mehbooba ji, you're a superb politician. You've made it very clear your answer is yes, you will support the land acquisition amendments without saying the word yes. You're a very good politician, but you're saying that, aren't you?
No, because I feel, even I have gone, certain sections of this land bill, I feel that, 70 years down the line, हमारा किसान अभी भी खुदकुशी करता है. तो इसका मतलब है कि, अगर उसके लैंड उसके पास है, जिसको बेच के गवर्नमेंट को अस्पताल बन सकता है, उसको बहुत ज़्यादा पैसा मिल सकता है, अपने बच्चों को अच्छी तालीम दे सकता है, because we have not been able to give them irrigation. In America, land, agriculture की बहुत कम इस्तेमाल होती है, but they are more prosperous.
माफ करेगा, I'm running out of time, which is why I'm pushing to end it, but you're saying a very important thing, which I'll underline for the audience. Without using the word yes, you have used the subtlety and cleverness at your command to make it crystal clear that you believe this land acquisition amendment is in the farmer's interest, is in the national interest, and you're hardly therefore going to vote against it. And your laugh and that lovely smile says it all. Mehbooba Mufti, a pleasure talking to you.
Thanks.